The next morning, when Kelly was unlatched from the closet, she saw Sita tied to the stock she was first tied to. Except this time her toes were tied back. Well, I wish I could stick around today and watch this tickle fest. But I have a class to teach, Edward said as he left the house. Rita led Kelly toward Sita, who had a large grin on her face. Okay, Sita yelled. Kelly began to tickle Sita's underarms very furiously, and this sent Sita into high-pitched yelps. Rita stood by on her toes and Katrina was tied to a chair. She too had a smile on. Kelly ran her fingers over the girl's pits and to her surprise, she didn't try and struggle. Kelly wanted to see her suffer, so she stayed with the pits for a long time. An hour passed and still not a single tear fell from her eyes. Or did she struggle? Kelly moved quickly to her belly and began to poke at it. Sita screamed with ticklish laughter. Still she did not struggle. Kelly tickled her side, and pant line, and even nipple. Still nothing. Kelly moved to her feet, keeping the time she stopped to tickle a new area slim. Kelly dragged her nails down the flats of her feet and the sides. Suddenly Sita kicked her foot and then Kelly knew why. She was used to the torture, but after a while it gets too much. Kelly started again on her pits, but to her surprise, she started to shake her head and move her body. Stop! She screamed and continued to laugh. Kelly smiled and began to lick her pits. How do you like it? Kelly asked as she made slurping noises. Kelly teased her pits, tickling the left and the right, and them both at the same time. Sita was laughing harder and harder with each passing moment. Tears began to roll down her face as she began to tickle her belly and sides again. She started to cry when she hit her feet with the tickling furry. Rita stepped forward and dragged Kelly away. You want me to tickle you? Kelly asked in hopes that her plan would work. Yes, Rita said, hopping up and down. Kelly glanced around the room and saw a small bundle of rope. Lay down, Kelly instructed, and Rita obeyed. Grabbing the rope, Kelly hog-tied Rita where she lay. Throwing caution to the wind, Kelly started to tickle her feet. Rita laughed. Kelly tickled Rita for a while when she realized this was time to escape. Kelly ran to Katrina and started to untie her. Let's go, Kelly said as she freed Katrina's left hand. Katrina shook her head. No, I want to be tickled. Will you tickle me? Katrina asked. Kelly stood up and shook her head and ran down the flight of stairs and out the front door. Throwing the ski mask off her, she ran toward the street and turned to face the house. The sunlight felt great and she couldn't help but smile. She had escaped that hellhole. Kelly felt bad that she had to leave her friend behind. The real sad part was that she couldn't call the cops either. Kelly sighed deeply and started to walk back toward the bushes. She was still barefoot. She passed the first row of bushes when Rita and Sita tackled her from them. Kelly struggled, but was overpowered and hoisted to her feet. Help! Kelly screamed, but no one heard. Kelly started to kick wildly until something lifted her feet, and she was hung in the air. Kelly twisted her body to see Katrina holding her feet. Time to tickle. She laughed as they carried her back towards the house. The end.